Fake news. What is it and why should we care? Today, Wednesday, November 8th, 2017, we'll all learn during Symposium.
To some, to use the term fake news is designed to do something different, something truly insidious, as it seeks to undermine a valued institution in our society, the free press. I would like each member of the panel to take this first question. What does the term fake news mean to you? How might you define it? Is it an accurate term to describe what's going on and how the news is being portrayed? And what might you actually call it instead if you were going to give it a different name?
Well, fake news is, certainly as Frank mentioned, there's been some form of fake news around forever. We all love to read The Onion and the Onion headlines, and tabloids have been around forever in some form. But I think everybody sort of knew that tabloids were sensational, and everybody knew, or at least most people in the world knew, that The Onion was satire and not actually a news story.
Frankly, it's lost a little bit of its bite because quite a lot of, I mean, this is a kind of who smelt it dealt it kind of a situation, where quite often there is a lot of fake news coming out of the White House, or these promises of news which, I mean, how many times have we heard, I will be producing a plan in the next week, /month, /year.
In our newsroom, if we get a source who doesn't want to go on camera and tells us something big and interesting and maybe could be damaging to someone else if this comes out, we need to get that verified with somebody else. We can't just have one person say, hey, by the way, this crazy thing's going on, and then we report it. We need to have at least 2 people, and if it's like, depending on the situation, we need to have at least 3 people to back that up. And I believe that's the same at the other organizations too.
Afterwards, Erin from the Star Tribune will come talk with Spectrum to tell us why we should care about fake news and answer a few more questions about journalism.
All right, well, one of our first questions was, what is the best platform on which to present different kinds of stories?
That's a good question. I think some of it has to do with how much context or how much space you have. So I think about that a lot in terms of what we can do at a newspaper versus what TV reporters can do, you know, in a very short segment. And it's often very different because I'm often lucky because I have the space to explain an issue in a little bit more depth, give a little bit more background. Whereas if I just had 30 seconds on the air, I might just have to do like quick sound bites that don't really get into it. If it's something that you've been reporting on a lot, people know it really well, you know, something happening at the school, you don't have to rehash all of it, then you can kind of synthesize it and it could be like a social media post that maybe just has some highlights. If it's something brand new, you want to make sure that someone who's willing to spend a little time on it can get more information to totally understand it. So then it might be better on print, or if you did a podcast where you had a little bit more time to talk about it or interview someone about it, it could be a better way to do it.